Okay, so now we've got our first little practice program is done. It worked. Now we're going to make the real thing. So everybody go under Program, go over to New, Create New. And this one I want you to call Quad, Q-U-A-D. Stands for quadratic. And you can do two different things. I'll give you your choice. If you'd like to, you can do the discriminant, which is a really simple program. Or if you want to go for the gold, A-D. If you want to go for the gold, you can do the quadratic formula. It's not that much harder and much cooler because it does a lot more work for you. All right, the beginning of your program goes like this. Exactly what I have here. Display, quotes, tell me, quote, and then prompt for A. And if we're doing a quadratic, I can just go right off the bat and say A, B, and C, because anybody who knows about quadratic, they know what those are, right? They know A is the first number in the quadratic, and B is the second number, etc. So this is the beginning of the program. Tell me A, and then prompt, and what do you think should come next? Prompt for what? B, and then do prompt for C. Now, the computer will know all of A and B and C. The next line is always the actual calculation. So this is the part where you'd have to decide. If I'm going to go for the discriminant, and all you got to do is B squared minus 4AC, and then store that under what's a good logical variable for the discriminant? D for discriminant. Okay, and then display D, and you'd be done. It's done the discriminant for them. If you want to do the quadratic formula, you still have to collect prompt for A, prompt for B, prompt for C, and then your calculation line is just a lot harder because the quadratic formula has two parts. You remember? Negative B plus or minus, get squared, root B squared minus 4AC, all over 2A. What's the part that's important though? Plus or minus. So you'd have to do it once for the first root, which would be the plus, and then do the whole formula again with a minus in there, because there is no such key as plus minus. Okay, so you'd have the first calculation, then the second calculation. I would store the first one under R for root, and then I'd stow the second root under maybe Z because it's the, or maybe S for the second root, whatever. Store it under some other letter, and then display. And at the end, remember to tell the person what they're getting. Like one of the kids that did it real nice said, you know, like your roots are, and then he had it display the first root, and then he displayed the word and then he displayed the second root. And then one of the kids even went as far as if he did an if-then thing. This is crazy, but if the number comes out less than 1 that's underneath the root, then display imaginary. So anyway, that's really complicated, but if you get good at this, you could do that. So to start with this. I'm going to display my old program that shows you generally the type of things you need in there. So I'm going to clear this off, get out of this, clear that. I'm going to go into programs. I'm going to display my DDD program in the edit mode. And you'll need to ask them for stuff. You'll need to calculate some stuff like right in here. And then you'll need to display it both in words and with the actual number. That's how you should end your program. Okay? This is the part where you just need some work time. And if you need to ask for help, I'll be glad to look over and debug your program for you. Other kids in here might be able to help you too. But start by asking for A, B, and C, prompt for A, B, and C. Do some calculation. Store those someplace. Remember the stow is at the end. Store under R or store under S. And then display those. All right? It's been kind of a long lesson today, but hopefully you've learned something kind of cool.